Welcome to Butterleggings. We don't always get things right, but we're real good triers.
We watch movies and make music inspired by the experience. Fair warning, there are spoilers.
We oftentimes talk about mature subjects, and we say dirty words while we're at it.
Here we go! Hi, Butterleggings. I'm Jay.
I'm Sin.
And I'm Alex.
As we usually say, it took a while for this episode.
It's been a while.
As they say, It's been a while for this episode.
So I've got my little speakers here on my desk, and I had past tense. Well, I guess I still have it, but I was using an iMac. My speakers died. Had some sort of power thing. I got those fixed. Contacted this guy who knows how to repair stuff. He's like, yep, come to my house. I've got some tools in the backyard we can use. And he fixed my speakers. I brought the speakers home. I went to power on my iMac so I could work on my song. And my iMac wouldn't turn on anymore. My iMac died. So, I've got a new computer.
Yay.
Whoa. Yo. Y'all ever receive a gift and you don't know how to react very well?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I finished a hike with some hikers on a guided hiking experience. And this gentleman gave me a medallion at the end of it. He didn't say a word the whole hike, and he gave me a medallion. And it was for... And it was for like a naval crime scene investigator medallion. And it's got some weight to it.
What?
And,
wow, that's wild.
And with that medallion, I got no explanation.
Wow.
Did he think you were his long-lost son?
I don't know. I was just like, it's been an honor. Anywho.
So at work, I'm hiring for a new staff member to be on my team. I had one of the most unhinged interviews I've ever had. Let's call this person Mitchell.
Okay.
So on paper, Mitchell seemed okay. I'd sent Mitchell a text, said, hey, I got your application. Let's schedule a time to talk for half an hour.
For what kind of job?
For IT specialist job.
Like working on the computers and such?
Exactly. Yes. So, yeah, I sent this person a text, and immediately afterward, within like 10 seconds, Mitchell texts back and says, I'm ready to talk right now. And like, as I'm reading his response, my phone rings, and Mitchell is calling me. I'm like, wow, that's very forward.
He was just being very responsive.
Yeah.
Which he's got a lot of drive.
A lot of drive, I guess. But I declined the call. I sent back a message. I said, hey, let's schedule this call, please. We schedule something, and we get to talking, and he's like, yeah, I'm Mitchell, and what you should know about Mitchell is Mitchell, he was kind of like what if comic book guy from The Simpsons and Napoleon Dynamite had a baby. I am Mitchell, and he would pause like halfway through a sentence, and he would do his like Napoleon Dynamite, like, oh, like a big exasperated exhale. Oh, some people just need help with their computers.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. And then I heard like a bunch of clanking and splashing and stuff. He's like, I'm doing the dishes right now.
Hey, multitasker. That's an attribute.
Multitasker.
That's an attribute.
I like Mitchell.
So the place that I work at, we help out a lot of people who are homeless. And I said, what is your understanding of why people might be homeless? And Mitchell says, typically, it's the end result of other problems.
Again, not wrong.
I once knew a homeless person.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. That was the entire response.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I said, our workplace is always working on towards being more inclusive and anti-racist. How do equity, inclusion, and anti-racism factor into the way you approach work in life? And he starts out with 2 words. Star Trek. Which it was kind of an odd response, but I see where he's going with there, because like, I'm a Star Trek fan, and Star Trek has always been a very progressive show.
Inclusive.
Like, yeah. And I was like, okay, let's see where he goes with this. I look like Commander Riker.
Mm-hmm.
And when I met him at Comic-Con,
Oh, wow.
someone said I look like his kid.
Okay, so does he look like his kid, or does he look like Commander Riker? And also, how's this pertain to the job? But keep going.
Yeah, and he pauses there, and I'm like trying to process this. Like, is he going to keep going? What is this answer? Where is he going now? And I'm just kind of waiting. He says, it was funnier at Comic-Con. I guess you would have had to been there. He was waiting for me to laugh about it. He says, the woman of my dreams was from Africa.
Oh, wow. He kept going. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I had to explain O.J. Simpson and Michael Jackson to her, but she wasn't dumb.
Okay.
She would ask me questions, and I would say, I've never been black in America.
Holy moly.
During COVID is when I put on all the weight.
Mm-hmm. Because we asked.
Yeah, and and I'm like, oh my God, like, I asked about, like, basically like a DEI question, like, where have we ended up? So anyway,
DEI.
So anyway, Mitchell starts tomorrow.
No.
Yes.
No. Sorry, Mitchell. You're out of the running.
Mitchell.
Oh.
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
I would, you know how I would answer that question?
How?
I'm cool with it.
That would have been a much better answer.
I mean, what else do you say? Oh, this is a no-go. I'm a little bit racist.
Oh, yeah. We watched Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about Alien. Alien.
My favorite movie.
The first one was released in 1979 and directed by Ridley Scott.
So good. So good.
Good God.
It's so good. Right from the very start, that title sequence as the word alien fades
best.
in real slow. And that
You're like,
really
what's
cool
that
font.
line? Ooh, it's an A. What's that line? Ooh, it's an L.
Ooh.
What's that line? Oh, a line is an I. Okay, that one's fine.
Ooh, word art.
Ooh, word art. They could have just used Microsoft Word, make it curvy.
Mm-hmm. Drop
Mhm.
shadow.
Arch it.
Mhm.
Once you finally figure out how to do that, then you just like don't want to do any rest of the document because you took too long trying to figure out how to arch your letters. It's my experience anyway.
Clippy shows up. Looks like you're trying to make an alien movie.
I know Michelle can relate to this. I spend a stupid amount of time looking for the right font for things.
Gotta get them right.
Gotta get them right.
Mhm.
Gotta look good.
Mm-hmm.
It really would have set a different tone. Like, just picture the alien title sequence, but it's in Comic Sans.
No, it's in Hobo, which is the best font.
I kind of like the hobo font. It looks like the title of a Hobbit book. Maybe they should have called it Hobbit font. That might have been
That'd been better.
been a little bit better.
Right after that title sequence, you get those slow camera shots and you get to, I don't know, just soak in like the hallways and like there's stuff everywhere on the walls
Mhm.
and that cockpit with all the helmets and stuff.
I like it. I like Alien set, like the ship, because it seems real. Sort of like
Mhm.
Star Wars, where it's not super well, Star Wars until there was the shiny ship. But old Star Wars, or episodes 4, 5, and 6, everything kind of looks beat up and
Mhm.
used. It makes it look real, because they're just miners, right?
They're a freighter, an Orf Raider.
Freight, yeah,
Mhm.
freighter. Yeah, I feel like it makes it real believable.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like if this movie was made this year, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Oh,
Timeless.
Yeah.
Timeless.
You know what I
timeless.
mean?
Mhm. Speaking of it being an Orf Raider, it's a really neat detail to bring out, to point out, because the ship got stopped, mid-journey because they intercepted this alien transmission, or they intercepted this transition from the alien planet. And like, they're an Orf Raider. They're in no position at all to investigate this, but the company requires them to do so.
Man, I just now understood. You have said the word "or freighter" like 7 times since we started this conversation.
Yeah.
And I thought you were saying Orf Raider. And I was
Me
like, what is
too.
an Orf Raider? Like,
I was like, I missed that in the
I
movie.
know. I was like, what's an Orf? And what are we rating? Like the whole time.
You learn about
Michelle,
you learn about Orfs when you're reading The Hobbit.
Yeah.
were you like me, Michelle, and you were just trying to be cool
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah, I was
Orf
like-
Raider.
I was like,
was-
it's my favorite movie. I never heard of an Orf Raider.
I was playing along like, yeah, Orf Raider. I remember that.
Remember that?
I didn't remember that, but now I get
Yeah.
it. Did you know this? This is a Blade Runner sequel,
Yes.
Yes.
but it came out before Blade Runner.
Yes.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I really like the whole concept of like greedy corporations that's heavily over all of this universe, because it's true. No matter space and time, there's always these asshole greedy people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of like right now in the
Mhm.
United States of America.
Oligarchy, am I right?
Oligarchy, am I right?
No, we just want to buy Greenland or something.
We just want the Pentagon to be a trigon. I mean, a triangle. Oh, here's a sequence I really like in the beginning of is them waking up. He takes his time with that.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in a hurry about the wake up. He's just like, this is real. Y'all waking up super slow.
Yeah. They do those cool fade transitions while they're actually waking up, and then whenever they're sitting around eating breakfast, the dialogue feels real natural, and they really have you like sit in with the crew as it establishes the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why they got on Band-Aids, basically. They hardly have any clothes on. I'd be cold.
Maybe the ship runs a little hot.
I'd be like, where's my jammies? Like, if I'm going to sleep that long, I want to be in some jammies and some slips. Otherwise known as slippers.
Where are my slippers?
Where's my slippers? But yeah, the dialogue, people talking over each other, that feels real.
Yeah, that is something that only a few directors can pull off. Ridley Scott, Spielberg.
Yeah, there's very much like in Jaws when they're talking over each other, and when the shipmates are talking over each other in Alien, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, but something's happening. Everybody shut up.
I was
He's
trying
about to have a chest burster.
Oh, Veronica Cartwright, who plays the character Lambert, she knows how to act scared. She was in The Birds.
Who figured that one out?
Sin. We're just sitting there watching, and she's like, she's in The Birds.
She's still alive.
No, actually, it was the other way around. We were watching The Birds. Yeah, we were watching The Birds recently.
We're watching The Birds, and there's this young girl in The Birds. She's in the school that they have to evacuate because of the birds. And I was like, that's the woman from Alien. And Jay's like,
Nice.
I'm like, yep. That's my superpower, recognizing faces. Yeah.
Faces on TV.
Yeah. Not in person. If I've met you five times, don't remember.
And I'm decent at it on TV, but I'm exceptionally good in real life.
She almost kind of had Ziggy Stardust hair.
Yeah, totally. Jay, you have a note here that says the engineer suit is shown. When's that happen?
That's whenever they go onto the alien spaceship.
Oh.
After they land and they're investigating, they go in there and you see the engineer's suit, and they're like, oh, it looks like something, came out of its chest. And of course we're like, yeah, it sure did.
Yeah, it sure did. We know the secret.
It sure is dang did.
But what I find cool about that whole scene is it shows how much of the story and the backstory that Ridley Scott had already thought through for this whole thing. Like, because, he goes through those details. Good storytellers do that. Why were these aliens here? Why did this infestation happen? Why was this spaceship here? Had to think through all of those reasons ahead of time, and makes for a much stronger story, even if you're not going to tell those parts.
Yeah, because there's that Alien doesn't go into, they don't even call them engineers because that was named in Prometheus. Yeah. But that who those beings are isn't even talked about in Alien. It's just like people on a ship.
That's right.
With the dialogue feeling so natural and the story being so strong, it makes this movie really feel different each time you watch it.
Like when you're watching it, like you were saying, while we were watching it for the 400th time, you're like, if you are watching it for the first time, you don't know that Ripley's the main character. Because it naturally develops. It's cool.
This movie progresses each time you see it, and also after watching all of the other Alien movies and Blade Runner movies, and you get this like bigger picture of the Wayland Corporation and the droids and the engineers and all that. Like, so the first time you're watching, you don't know that Ash is an android with special orders. And you learn in Aliens that's a requirement of the Wayland Corporation that you always have an android with every mission. But on this one, it was a secret. Even the crew didn't know. Secret. There's even also some fun parts where if you're watching this second, third plus times, you notice the xenomorph hiding in the background. And you could very easily miss that the first time, especially towards the end, whenever Ripley is trying to escape and she thinks that she thinks that she's clear of the xenomorph, and she walks right past it.
Did you know that Sigourney Weaver won an Oscar for this role?
I know that.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, like when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, of course, it was amazing. But in the at this time period, like late 70s, early 80s, sci-fi did not win Oscars. That wasn't really a thing, sci-fi horror. And so it was like a big deal that she won an Oscar for this role, you know, and since then she's done tons of stuff. She hadn't really done much up until then. Like she had a small part in Annie Hall. She did some, I think, Broadway stuff, but yeah.
I know that also the studio wanted a man to be Ripley.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Man.
Yeah. And Ridley Scott was like, no.
Yeah.
No way.
I mean, she's by far my favorite, what's that called? The main character.
Oh, the protagonist.
She's my favorite protagonist in any of the films in this franchise, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's
She's
awesome.
strong.
Yeah.
Like she looks strong, you know, she is strong. You don't think that, I don't know. You're like, yeah, that's what she would do. I mean, I'd be crying and wanting to go home. I would have gone back for Aliens 2. Hell no.
She's also the gatekeeper.
That's right.
In Ghostbusters.
Are you the gatekeeper?
But before we go on to Aliens, should we play a song?
Yeah. Let's do Pick or Wheel.
Pick a wheel.
Let's do what we call Pick or Wheel, otherwise known as Alex Always Goes First. Wheel. It's stupid. It's stupid.
All right. Alex, let's listen to your song, apparently.
Okay. I'm blushing.
Tell us about your song.
You remember when Sigourney Weaver took off her pants?
Because they gotta get all naked when they go into hypersleep, which I don't understand. Not naked, but pretty darn close to naked.
Oh, I always took it as she was just so stressed out. She's like, let's ditch these pants. I'm the only one here. So this song, I give you, Let's Ditch These Pants.
Don't crack the egg,
Resist the urge.
an alien demon,
Really urge.
Exercise caution,
Be a little scared.
quit it, stop it, dang it.
There's an acid beast in there.
Once again, curiosity kills the cat, and Bilbo stands by idly and watch them do all that. All that. Who wrote this movie?
Spielberg 'twas not.
'Twas a twisted mind.
Of Sir Ridley Scott.
No friendly ETs,
No true Barrymores.
just people with poor listening
And
skills.
prophets open doors.
Once again, we walk right into the fire with Bilbo in his sitting chair, pretending to be tired. Oh, so tired. When she thought she was the last one alive, she did not do a happy dance. When she thought she was the last bee in the hive, she said, let's ditch these stupid pants.
I like that fart noise at the end. It's real good. No, I'm just kidding. That bass is cool.
It is
There's
cool.
a lot of fart noises in there. Quite frankly, I don't remember doing it. It was kind of freaking me out.
You were talking about Bilbo Baggins. Yeah, he's in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Bilbo's in this
Mhm.
movie.
Yep.
What's his name?
Ash.
Martin Short.
Bilbo.
That's his name.
Oh, his real name?
Martin Short.
Yeah,
Ian Holmes.
same thing. Ian Holmes.
Starring Martin Short and Nick Nolte.
Ian Holmes, like, he does a real good android.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
There, Bilbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bilbo.
When he does the milky sweat. Ooh, that was one other point about it seeming when you first watch it or when you watch it for the first time, you don't know that Ripley's the main character, and you also don't know that Ash is an alien. I mean, and you also don't know that Ash is an android.
That's right. Alex, I like your song. It actually reminds me a lot of Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The guitar part reminded me of Modest Mouse. The ding 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 ding. I like that. And it's also funny.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Ripley and the cat are the only beings who survive, and she drifts off into space for a long nap.
Yeah, very long nap.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and then the next movie, Aliens, in 1986, is them discovering her out in space.
Yeah.
How many years?
What was it? Like
50.
Yeah, 50, 57, I want to say, something like that.
This one's not as good.
It's only not as good because Newt screams.
Yeah. I feel like the first Alien is more like our style of movie, but I think there's a lot of people who would be like, "Oh no, Aliens is the better one." And
Yeah.
I can kind of see some of the appeal of it because it is like more action packed, I guess, a little funnier.
Mm.
It is funnier. And like there's those iconic scenes with what's his butt who's like, game over, man, game over.
Game
like
over.
everyone
Yeah.
knows about that.
Yeah, it's a very quotable movie, and it is a great movie.
Bill Pullman.
It's got those cool like
Bill
automatic
Paxton.
what are they called? Those
Oh, the lifters.
that kind of robot lifter things.
You know, I just recently learned that those lifters that they use in Sigourney Weaver is operating one to fight against the Queen at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The way they did that is that they actually built that suit and Sigourney Weaver's in it, but there's also secretly inside of the suit, there's like a really strong bodybuilder guy who is like moving around and moving the whole robot and carrying Sigourney Weaver around.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
wild.
Mm-hmm.
That was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But it's kind of interesting that like how big the Wayland Corporation is. Like they own everything.
Yeah.
Like they own planets and moons and all operations and kind of the military also.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, the military isn't separate from a private corporation, which is really strange.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not now, probably not in 2025, but it was before January this year.
Yeah.
It would have been strange.
Yeah, at the place where we are now, we're kind of like, I can see how that could happen.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I kind of welcome some aliens to come kind of like mass do-over. It'd be cool. Oh, yeah. This is the best part. They got to play that rat-a-tat-tat drum to prove that they're Marines. That's in every movie. Every movie. If a Marine Corps shows up,
You were talking about how Wayland is such a giant company and they own whole planets and moons and basically everything. It was obvious how much of a driver that is of how civilization works at this point. Because even for Ripley, who has been, wronged by this company in some of the worst ways, she's like motivated to get reinstated within the company at a certain job rank. She's like, okay, I'll go along with this plan a little bit. If this means that I'll get a job, I'll still work for you.
I mean, yeah, I do think she was also motivated by knowing that there were colonists there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that, because she's a good person. But yeah, I wouldn't have gone back. Would you have gone back?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, hell no.
They did a real good job on those eggs.
Yeah, they did. they're all.
So,
eggs are expensive.
oh my God. Okay. I have a story time. So eggs are real so it's March 2025. The eggs that we buy are basically $1 a piece because our carton of 12 eggs costs over $12, which is crazy because, I think there was a time when eggs cost like $5. I don't know. It's just crazy. So today we were down to 6 eggs. Jay has 3 every day. Well, Jay has 2 every day and Ho-Ho has 1. He makes Ho-Ho an egg every morning for breakfast. So we were down to 6. So today I was like, ooh, I'm going to make tuna salad. And I always put boiled egg in my tuna salad. So I was going to boil 3 of them. So I start the water, put the eggs in there. And then I realized, I need to be in a meeting. So I get in a meeting. And about 45 minutes later, I hear this pop. This really loud bang pop. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I heard it again. I was like, what is that? So I go, hey, hold on one second. I got to go check on something. Those fuckers had exploded. They actually they exploded. And there was no water in the pan. Parts of
boiled away.
Hard black eggshell was like fused to the pan at the bottom. And then there's egg parts. So anyway. That's my story about eggs and there's eggs in Aliens too.
Did you eat it?
No.
Oh.
It went into the compost and then I had to use the last 3 eggs. So I wasted $3 today.
No. Well, Sin, tell us about your song.
What's your chance?
My song. So the reason why we haven't seen our Butterleggings in a long time is because Sin had a hard time coming up with a song. I think I had a lot of pressure because it's my favorite movie. I was like, I want to do justice. And I was having a hard time with it. And then finally I was like, I just got to make a song. So this song is called Lone Survivor. And it's at the end of Aliens, Sigourney Weaver's like, this is Ripley, the lone survivor of the Nostromo, blah, 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 blah. And so that's what this song is about. It's about this one, and then as well as Aliens, when there's the 3 of them that survive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the lone survivor, discovered deep in space. Here is my warning, never go back to that place. A creature of perfection,
never go back to that place. I should have said no to Wayland and left the colonies to die. But Newt was left, so Hicks and I made sure that she survived. Now there's just the three of us. We blew the fucker into space, along with all the aliens. Nightmares I can't erase. We're lone survivors, dreaming deep in space. Hero warning, never go back to that place. We're lone survivors, dreaming deep in space. Hero warning, never go back to that place. We didn't heed the warning because of the company. Our mother put us in danger without a soul or body.
I had to fart at the end too.
Woo.
Very cool. Yeah, I like those.
I like it. Yeah.
Very fun song. Very catchy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
We didn't talk about Mother, MUTH,
R.
the corporate mainframe, I guess, or whatever, brain of the technology in Wayland.
Yeah, and you referenced that, Mother.
I'm like, she ain't got no soul. She ain't real, or she's not a human. Yeah, so there's a queen in Aliens that's pooping out all these eggs. The cycle of Alien is there's an egg that poops out a face hugger, and then the face hugger does the nasty with someone's face, and then they burst out of the person as as a xenomorph.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that they did like this whole like life cycle of the alien, kind of like an insect. But yeah, the queen is in Aliens, and she real big.
Yeah, she is.
I'm huge.
And there's this whole like kind of interesting play on like motherhood, because Ripley was a mother. You don't know that unless you watch the director's cut. But Ripley was a mother who lost her daughter because she was in space for 57 years. And then with Newt, she kind of becomes this kind of like surrogate mother for Newt. So she's protecting her, and then the alien queen is protecting her eggs. And so they're kind of having this duel. And it's a very interesting like scene, that whole like, I'm going to kill your babies if you don't let my baby get away. And then Sigourney Weaver's like, I want to kill your babies anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And she does. She pulls the sin, boils them all, they'll pop.
Yeah. 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 She left them on while she was in a meeting.
Didn't eat them.
Yeah. Then she had to make more for her tuna salad sandwich. Okay, can we talk about tuna? So I always make what I call tuna salad sandwich. So tuna and various things like relish, mayo, mustard, salt and pepper, hard-boiled eggs, onion. Like that's tuna salad sandwich, right? Jay is not a fan. Jay's like, no, gross, no. He likes tuna, but tuna salad, hell no. So last night, because we're trying to eat a lot of protein, he's like, shit, I got to eat more like 70 more grams of protein. And I was like, that can of tuna fish got 43 grams in it. He's like, okay, yeah, tuna on some crackers. So he starts putting that, and he's like, I guess it needs something else. So he puts some Tabasco in there or some hot sauce. Then he puts some salt, some pepper, and I was like, kind of looks like you're making tuna salad something. So he gets through and he eats the whole thing. And I was like, well, how was it? And he's like, it really could have used something. I was like mayonnaise? And he's like, Yeah, like mayonnaise. So I guess Jay does like tuna salad sandwich.
I'm slowly building up to it, but it's got to be my idea.
He had to invent it first.
Yeah, totally. I was like, you're putting all this shit in there. Anyway, JJ, share with us your song, please.
Yeah. My inspiration came from the poster of the original Alien movie. It had the tagline, "In space, no one can hear you scream." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a fun idea for a song." So it became the title of the song, and it went from there. Enjoy.
The flowing of time, adrift in no sea. The calling of a ghost is breathing for me. Painting of night, a mother's embrace, the luckiest time, the water in chains. But it's too late. You've lost all your team. In space, no one can hear you scream. But it's too late. But it's too late. But it's too late. You've lost all your team. In space, no one can hear you scream. But it's too late. But it's too
Yoshimi, they don't believe me. Sound like Flaming Lips a little
Flaming
bit.
Lips, yeah.
Which
You
isn't
know
a
what?
bad thing. Not a bad thing.
I really like that song. I think what
Thank you.
I really like about it is so the verse, the first part, there's kind of like these, like if you think about vocal melody being a question, like da da da, I don't know.
Oh,
And then when you get to the chorus, it resolves. Na 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 na. It's such a like you feel like really like answered. You know what I mean? Like you've answered the question, and so like melodically, that's how I feel during that song. It's so good. Good
Yeah,
job.
good job, JJ.
thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Much like you, I also mentioned Mother in there. There's a line, Mother's Embrace.
Mhm.
At the very end, there's kind of some staticky noises. Did you recognize that?
Is that from the movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the transmission that they intercept whenever
Oh.
that stops the Nostromo. And there's a scene where they're like sitting there quiet and they're listening to it, and they're like, what the fuck is that? But I took that transmission. I was like, ooh, I'll put it in my song. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Clever.
good. You're so clever.
Clever girl. Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, 1993. 1993.
Steven Spielberg.
Good movies. Woohoo!
Yeah, good job.
Oh yeah, we also didn't mention that Hicks, who is the other survivor of the aliens, the Marine, he's Michael Behind, who was in Terminator and in The Abyss.
James
So-
Cameron's buddy.
He, along with Benjamin Franklin, I guess is one of the favorite Butterleggings topics.
Yeah.
He's buddies with James Cameron. They tight. Because he's also in Terminator.
Are you saying that as like we didn't just say that, or you're asking?
No, because James Cameron, he was the president of Terminator 2.
Did you know that Michael Behind was in The Abyss?
What are we watching next?
Yeah, what are we watching?
We're finishing up the Alien movies. We
With?
have Alien 3 and
Oh yeah.
Alien Resurrection.
Riddler.
And then what
Alien
about
Riddler.
Romulus?
Well, we could fold Romulus into that last episode. We kind of forgot about it because whenever we were first deciding on the order of these movies,
It wasn't even out.
it wasn't out yet. It wasn't out yet.
Like that's how long it's been. I'm sorry, Butterleggings.
They made a whole damn Alien movie before we made a Butterlegs episode.
Before Sin could come up with a fucking 2-minute long song.
On our next episode, movies will have been holographic.
The thing is, the Alien Earth TV show is coming out this year. I guess
Not before we get our.
that's our due date.
By the way, we need to get holograms going. Come on, everybody.
Yeah, come on, everybody.
Come on, everybody. Make it happen.
Yeah, Romulus actually takes place between Alien and Aliens, but I think we can easily just throw it into our next episode. So our next episode will be Romulus, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection.
Whew. That's a lot.
And then we'll be done with them.
Can you
Yeah.
send me that also in a text?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a better visual learner.
Be sure to check us out on butterlegspodcast.com.
And send us an email at hello@butterlegspodcast.com.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say one more thing about Alien. You know, in that part where
Meeting adjourned.